Do small tanks like this need a light like this? In this video, we're gonna see if an RGB light will make a difference versus a white light like this. If you're like me, you're looking for that balance between cost, quality, and performance. In full disclosure, I got this light for free from Hygger. They asked me to do a review. I said I can only do it if it's completely honest and I can say the good and the bad. I already own one light just like this, but larger on my pea puffer tank, so I already have my opinions about it. As long as they were okay with it, they said that's fine, that's what they want, real honest, real reviews. So we're gonna see how it does. So I haven't opened this thing at all yet, but I got duckweed on it. The cord that it comes with is substantially long. I'd say it's probably about 6 feet. We're gonna go over the operation of the light, and truth be told, I read the manuals. What I found nice is the breakaway cord in case, something happened and you got hooked on the light, this will unplug. So we're gonna go over the operation of the light here in this control. Let's see if we get this to focus. So basic on-off functions, right? When you turn it on, you have a memory button right here. And as you go press that, it'll cycle through some colors. Let me see if we put this in right there. Any flashing you may see or stuff like that is the camera lens. The light isn't flashing. See that little flash? But that's not actually happening in real life. It scrolls through all the different colors and then gets to one mode where it just randomly, this one where it'll just change colors itself and scroll through the operation. So one thing is the timer, how to set it. Right now, if I start the timer, it goes 6, I don't know if we can get that to focus on there, 6, 8, and 12 hours. So 6, 8, 12. So whenever you start the timer, that's when the timer starts in 6, 8, or 12 hours from that time. So press it again and it'll turn off. Has a 24/7 mode, go through a cycle from sunrise to sunset. The problem is that it's going to run at 100% intensity and it's just too much. So now a DIY mode, which this is a nice option that my other tank does not have this option, is this right here. And now we can set our reds, greens, blues. And what's nice is that it can either hit it by button or you can go until it stops. And then once it hits the peak, it's going to flash and tell you it's at the top or the bottom. So if we play with this, we can get some really cool colors. So no blues. And if we drop this down, it's kind of hard to see. That's more pink, but this would be a nice amber sunrise color and our little orange yellowish color. So overall function is pretty easy to go through, and this would be in the DIY mode. And what's nice is that if you do turn it off and when you turn it back on, it'll be on there. And if you do unplug it and then decide that you wanted to plug it back in, when you turn it back on, it goes back to the mode that it was on before. So it doesn't lose the settings, which is nice. If the timer is set and you unplug it, you still have to turn it back on. That's the problem. So it loses the timer. So if you do lose power, your timer gets set off, but at least you don't lose your settings if you had a nice color in the tank that you were looking for. The light itself is pretty nice. I mean, you can't really show you on camera because it'll just blind us, but it's a, nice thin, it's got a nice textured backside to it here. Thin in proportions. The arms fit and adjust very easily, and it'll go right onto multiple size tanks. I think up to 18 inches from 12 to 18-inch tanks this light is rated for. And it seems pretty intense. It's got a pretty good light to it. So let's get it on the tank and see what it looks like. So I currently have this white light on the tank, and it does do a couple of different colors and it goes through a couple of different options, but the controller really isn't that nice. It's a surface touch. There's no confirmation click when you press the button, so you accidentally hit it and it turns on and off, and it's really not really a great light, but it was cheap and it was good for just to get the tank going, and it really doesn't look bad. So it's a really good comparison for another cost-effective light. So now that we have it installed, let's just see roughly what it looks like. I gotta say, that's not that bad considering what it looked like before. And I had a lot of shadowing issues before where the other light really just didn't cover the tank really well and was causing more issues in the front of the tank where I couldn't really see it. So that's the just the regular memory settings, which I think are really good. And when we go through it, we'll just bang through the colors really quick. And it really does look good. And one thing that is really nice is that the intensity is adjustable on the side too. So with the colors, we can turn that intensity down. And if you hold it, it'll also just dim down, turn off, show you the bottom, and then you can turn it all the way up. And then once it gets all the way to the top again, it'll flash to confirm. So it's a nice slow buildup, so it's not so rapid, but if you want, you can hit the buttons and they have a nice confirmation click to them. One little tip that I've seen is that it felt like kind of flimsy. The arms really didn't want to stay in place. So I just took the arms, kind of bent them open a little bit. And when I did that and put them back into the light, it was a much more firmer feel. They didn't want to just fall off and slide. So I could set it because I have it in all the way to fit this tank. And I do like that the tank does really cover the whole face. It's built really well and it has plenty of light for a small tank like this. Good coverage side to side. I really wouldn't want to say I would put it on an 18-inch wide tank. I think it'd be very narrow. You'd have a lot of shadowing to the outside, but I like how it fits on here and you can play with it to some cool little places to look at. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the light. The bad that I'm not thrilled about is that the light itself, with the timer not being set to an actual clock, you have to be there. But I know that the light will grow plants really well because the larger version of this light that I have on the pea puffer tank is very lush, grows great plants, and this is a low-tech tank, no CO2. All I do is fertilize it. And I don't recommend the 24-hour mode. Cool for a day, but ultimately the 24-hour mode is just way too much light. It's cool, something fun to do, but 6 to 8 hours maximum. Overall, super happy with the light. I think that for the value, price, and durability standards, I would say check, check, check. They're all very good, and you can really get a great light for the money. And if you want to know more about this tank and see how I aquascaped it, check this out.